On a 56-yard field goal yesterday, but some were surprised Dallas didn't try to get any closer before sending out the kicking team. Here's the latest. After the game, Mike McCarthy tried to explain what happened in the final 30 seconds, saying there was a miscommunication with someone in the desired personnel group coming off the field, and then he said the clock disappeared from the screen he was watching at SoFi Stadium, and then he said offensive coordinator Kellen Moore's view of the clock was obstructed by a cameraman. Shannon, how much of this are you buying?
Skip, I ain't buying this $3 for $1. And he had 3 excuses, and I'm buying none of them even for $1, Skip.
He didn't have one, he had 3.
Skip, in other words, Kellen Moore, the cameraman right there. Kellen Moore couldn't do this? What the hell, Skip?
I don't know. How many billions of dollars did this stadium cost?
$5.5 billion. And they only got one clock that actually worked at a $5.5 billion. This is where the Super Bowl is going to be held. They're also going to have the opening closing ceremony of the Olympics in 2028. So things are malfunctioning already. That is the reason why, Skip, they didn't have the Super Bowl there last year. Yep. Because the NFL said we want to make sure work out all the kinks. Mike McCarthy, your kicker bailed you out. You froze. You gagged. You had a timeout. You let 20-plus seconds run off the clock with a timeout after you ran the ball. My thing is, Skip, you said, okay, you had somebody run off the field. Why? You gave the ball to Pollard on second down. Pollard is your third down back. Did Pollard come out the field? Why would he come out the field on a third down when he's your third down guy?
I don't know. Good question.
So in other words, look, I get it. You don't want to make yourself look bad because this looked really bad on a head coach that bumbles it this bad. So you got this happened and that happened and that happened. But the longer this, the kicker bailed him out.
He did.
Zuerlein, Skip, these big leg kickers, with the exception of Justin Tucker, you look at Matt Prater, you look at him, kids like him. They got the leg. You just worry about the accuracy. With Tuck, you don't worry about anything because he has the leg and the accuracy. So he has the leg. Just the accuracy. Greg Zuerlein bailed you out, Mike McCarthy, because the last minute you blew this one. Well, the last 30 seconds you blew this. I don't know why you didn't call a timeout. I don't know what they were saying on the. I'm sure probably Tony Romo because he played football.
I'm about to address this.
He and Troy Troy Aikman probably would have been going crazy. Like, I don't understand what Mike McCarthy is doing because I didn't understand. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Are you going to call a timeout? I mean, are you good with this? Or like 56-yard field goals, a chip shot?
Yep. Romo was not good with that.
Okay. I was going to say, because I know I wasn't good with it.
And neither was I. And neither, I believe, was Jerry Jones. And if Zuerlein had missed that kick, it was, to me, this is a fireable offense.
Miss the kick and you lose.
That's what I mean. If you miss the kick and you lose the game.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd have to go on and lose the game.
Right, you're overtime, yeah.
Exactly. Look, I lost so much respect for Mike McCarthy through Hard Knocks because he got exposed. Unwittingly, he got thrust into positions that are not his strength.
Yes.
He tried motivational speeches before preseason games against Arizona that fell flat. They were embarrassing because he was overmatched. He tried harder and harder to impress you, and it got lamer and lamer.
Right.
It's just not his forte. Dak can deliver pregame speeches. Mike McCarthy, not so much. And I applauded the move when they hired him because he did win a Super Bowl, but the more I watch, the more I think it was because of your guy.
Right.
And because of the whole team and because of Ted Thompson's general managing and all the moves that he made, because that year's defense was good. You never cite that one, but that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a top 5 defense featuring Clay Matthews and company that they won the Super Bowl with. Okay. So we got that. Mike McCarthy, in the circles that I'm connected to in the league, was known then as one of the top play callers in the league.
Right.
And a lot of people gave Mike credit for helping a young Aaron become Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Well, he doesn't call the plays here, which is mind-blowing to me.
Right.
And not that I don't love Kellen Moore, because I do, but why would you hire this man? Because he's not a commanding officer type.
Right.
He doesn't have great charisma as a natural-born leader. So why would you put him in charge of a team unless you let him do what he does best, which is call plays.
Right.
And if you
that's
hired,
probably one of the things that he told Jerry. I called the plays. That guy won 2 MVPs, won a Super Bowl MVP. I was calling those plays.
And if you had hired him and said he's going to be our play caller and we're going to let Kellen go, and Kellen goes somewhere and becomes a head coach, I would not have blinked over that because that's just part of the package. Right. He's done this at the highest level. Right. You have to let him do it again. Okay? And the whole idea was Dak loves Kellen Moore. Yeah. They've grown up together in their two positions. And, okay, so I got it, but it puts Mike McCarthy in a precarious position because I'm not sure what he does. What's his strength? Well, it's not game management, clock management.
Well, he tried to get Buddy because, as you mentioned, Dak and Kellen Moore has a very unique relationship because they've been there. So Mike McCarthy's trying to get in on Buddy's sister with Dak. Talking about, Dak. Nah. He buddied with Kellen.
He's buddies with Kellen.
That's his guy.
He believes in him and he lives by him.
But Skip, remember I told you, I said, if Mike McCarthy's coming in and he's known as a play caller, if they keep Kellen Moore, he has to call plays. Why else would he stay if he's just going to be standing there on the sideline doing what? Just have the title and name only. He could go somewhere and be a head coach.
Okay.
And when he turned to his Boise State, I think he turned them down to be the head coach. So I was like, oh, that's a no-brainer. He calling the plays.
Okay, you got it. Okay, so he called the play to hand the ball to Tony Pollard.
Right.
And yet it's dicey to hand the ball off at that point because you want to save your timeout for the end of the game to set up your field goal.
Right.
And it's easier to throw it and hope you hit it and get you in chip shot range so that you can call your timeout. Right. But if you run it and he gets tackled quickly, which he did, now what are you going to do?
Right.
Where are you going to stop the clock?
But Skip, that's what you should know. You should, in a situation like this, Skip, we got 2 plays called. This is what we're going to do. And Dak is supposed to explain to guys, look, if we get tackled, we're going to get up on the ball. The way you do it in a special team situation, Skip, you can get your offensive off the field and your field goal unit on the field in 18 seconds.
Yep.
That's the cutoff.
Okay.
We rehearse it over and over every single week, Skip. All right, field goal. Skip, half the offensive linemen on the field goal unit, so they don't have to go anywhere. You're just bringing in the kicker, the holder, and 2 wings.
Okay.
Everybody, and probably the snapper.
Okay. So
everybody else is there.
So it's 33 seconds left, and they hand it to Tony Pollard. More than enough time. And Mike McCarthy says, somebody came off the field who was not supposed to. You practiced the 2-minute offense like every practice ends with some 2-minute drill, right?
Yep.
Okay, so don't tell me that somebody messed up because it's just mind-boggling. You've been practicing this all camp long. It's hard to buy. Then it's hard to buy that the only clock he can see is somehow malfunctioning. It's on the fritz. And I love Dak's line after the game. He was like, well, I was just looking at the end zone clock. Well, you can just turn sideways and look at the end zone clock, and it'll show you.
So let me ask you a question. Why couldn't Mike McCarthy look at the end zone clock?
That's when I saw that. I thought, Mike? Really?
So it was working. The clock that Mike McCarthy was looking at wasn't working.
Okay, and then to your point, Kellen Moore's vision is blocked by a cameraman, and he can't just kind of duck and look sideways. I'll look over here. I'll look over here. This is it. This is for the football game. You're going to be potentially 0-2.
Yes.
So now it's for all the marbles of the season because it's hard to come back from 0-2, as you know, and even make the playoffs. Right. And Dak is like, I just thought we were comfortable and we're good in field goal range, and that's just what they wanted to do. Dak's just out there with no rising blood pressure because he thinks, well, they must just be waiting to call the timeout until we get down to 5 seconds left.
Dak Prescott is thinking like I'm thinking, and I'm saying to myself, are they okay with a 56-yard field goal? They're not going to try to get any closer. They got a timeout. It's 33 seconds. So you're not going to get back up to the line of scrimmage and run another play and try to get closer. So you cool with this? Dak just laid it out.
Yep.
And Skip, first of all, running off the field, it didn't look like Tony Pollard ran off the field to me. Again, that goes to coaching. So what are you coaching?
That's coaching. I agree. I don't know. Okay. Mm-hmm. And finally, the clock is ticking down, and Mike McCarthy says he's having to hear from upstairs in the coach's booth, they're counting him down. So he's hearing in his headset, hoping that he can stay with their count to call the timeout before it runs out. And it felt like for a second,
he had
lost. No, he's going to let it run out because he had lost complete control. And the body language on the sideline, to me at that moment, looked like complete chaos.
Yes.
It looked like nobody knew what was happening.
Skip, it looked like he froze.
Yes.
It was a situation where he just froze. Because as Dak explained, he's looking at the play clock in the end zone. Somehow Mike McCarthy standing on the